Hey everybody, it's Jason Blaha here, and today I want to chat with you guys a little bit about the fact that fiber, and particularly high fiber intakes, are absolutely critical for overall health. And I do get that there are a couple caveats here, but I think something that needs to be said with this popularity in really low fiber diets. The problem here is that people have created health problems because of really bad diets and lifestyle choices that have created problems to where they have IBS and gut flora imbalances, and therefore they're trying these nearly zero fiber diets because of problems they have created through bad lifestyle that would not exist had they just eaten properly their whole life. In most cases, and I'm not saying there aren't a few autoimmune related issues, but the other thing to think about there, most of these people could also just do a low FODMAP diet that still has plenty of fiber, and they will actually be okay. And I've observed this real life. One of my lifelong best friend's wife, and I've known her like 25 years. Perfect example. She had serious IBS, and I talked to her about low FODMAP many years ago, and it largely regulated the issue for her. Right? She found it to be just a game changer, and she still can eat fruits and vegetables and things. But you're seeing this approach, and the problem is that it's absurdly unhealthy. All right. The other factor may be people whose training loads are so high that they can't handle large amounts of fiber because of the interference with the ability to get in enough calories. Okay, and who are these people? Usually endurance athletes. But when we start looking at that, these people's energy turnovers and insulin sensitivity and stuff is so high, and their total calorie load is so high, they probably have very robust gut flora, that they're not as concerned with these other things. Okay, and so we can talk about that in a minute. But generally speaking, the more fiber that's in your diet, the better. Right? And there's not really an upper threshold. Now, some people say, well, at a certain point, your GI tract can't handle it, or you're bloated all the time. Yeah, but that's because you haven't adapted to that new intake. Okay, and over time, your body will adapt to that, and you will tolerate it better. Up to a certain point. But generally speaking, when we start talking about a lot of the health benefits, extremely high fiber intakes actually do seem to be beneficial, barring dehydration and people not getting enough water. Okay, that would be the other big problem. So what are the benefits we're looking at? Well, again, keeping in mind there's soluble and insoluble fiber and slightly different benefits, but I'm recommending people get large amounts of both. But right up near the top of the list, regulating blood sugar, regulating appetite. Okay, and we need to be very clear on that these increasing fiber intake is extremely valuable for both of these. In fact, we can talk about the satiety of protein all that we want, but fiber regulates satiety even better because there's a threshold where protein stops helping with appetite. Okay, but that blood sugar regulation, very high on the list, keeping blood sugar and energy levels more stable. All right. This also all seems to affect insulin sensitivity. We come back over to that point for gaining muscle, burning body fat. Insulin sensitivity is your friend. The higher your insulin sensitivity, the better it is, the easier it is for you to gain muscle. Okay, easier it is to gain muscle. Like we want a robust insulin sensitivity. Also keeps diabetes, cancer rates, all of that stuff lower. So then we come over into these other benefits. Right, regulation of our lipid profile. Adding fiber to our diet can improve that. It improves our fasting glucose, improves just blood work across the board. The problem you have people always come up with this, well, there's its anti-nutrients that are going to block absorption. Okay, but these aren't real problems. Meaning, when you look at the net positive, usually most high fiber foods are loaded with more vitamins and minerals anyway, so any minor negative impact to absorption is going to be offset. And that's what people don't understand when they start worrying about the anti-nutrient thing. All right, it doesn't stop all. It simply can reduce the ability to absorb just because it slows absorption of things in general in the gut. All right, so it might lower the percentage of something that you absorb, but if you eat more of it, it doesn't matter. See where we're going with that? And it's not the case of people saying, "Oh, well, if the entry is blocked more and more doesn't help," but in this case, it does. Like that's how this works with fiber and anti-nutrients and things. They don't block off like block a hole. They just slow absorptions to the point where a larger percentage of it may be excreted. But if your diet is rich in these things anyways, this is not an issue. All right. But the other big one we get to then is gut flora. The more fiber that's in your diet, and the more varied your fiber type, the more diverse your gut flora, the more overall health benefits you get. And this is something that all the emerging science has been saying for a long time, that we know that tons and tons of things regulated in the body, everything from cancers to depressions to, sex drive, all these things are impacted by gut flora. And having a healthy, robust gut flora seems to just contribute in general to reduce diseases and improve quality of life. All right, fiber is one of your most important, if not the most important thing for regulating this. All right. So again, very, very, very high on the list. Then we come over to things like metabolic rate. Fiber increases the thermic effect of your food, so we burn more calories even absorbing it. That's part of it. But the other thing is, it's been noted that fiber even seems to affect stuff like thyroid function. Right? So again, you come over to people who are like, "Oh, I've got a slow thyroid," and it's like, you tried adding more high fiber carbohydrates to your diet. Incidentally, oftentimes these same people complain about the inability to lose body fat, the inability to lose weight. Again, let's come back over to, have you tried adding more high fiber carbohydrates to your diet? Your metabolic rate will go up, your thyroid function will improve, and your appetite and blood sugar will be better regulated. Therefore, you'll find it easier to move more because you'll feel better, and to eat less. Right? Some of this should be common sense, but it's not. It's not common sense. All right. The downsides, of course, are that it can regulate appetite and total energy intake. That's a problem if your calorie expenditure is so high because you run marathons that it's not workable, in which case, you know what? You may have to scale the fiber back a bit and eat more white rice. But that's an easy solution. We know how to do this. And the majority of people out there listening, even though we have these caveats, 95% of the people listening do not compete in endurance sports. All right, guys, but that's really all I have to say on that today. I hope it's been informative, and I'll talk to you guys next time.